Okay, peeps, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the grayscale trusts and the spot Ether ETFs, which apparently just got approved for trading today. So I suppose the rumors are true. Let's get it. All right. So before we get into the grayscale trust, let's go over the spot Ether ETFs. So this is on Investopedia, as you guys can see. Tells you some details here. You guys can look all this up in your own time if you want to. We're just going to try to stay focused here on the grayscale trust and the basics of what's going on here. So there's three ticker symbols that have been listed. I did check them myself just to make sure they are actually trading, and yes, they are actually trading. So you have QETH here, which is the Invesco Galaxy Ethereum ETF. Well, actually, I take that back. I think it looks like it's more than three. I didn't see these down here. So okay, so you also have CETH, 21 shares core ETH ETF. The Fidelity one, of course, we have Fidelity, so you guys already know. A lot of you that have Fidelity may want to buy this on there. The Fidelity Ethereum ETF, Franklin Ethereum ETF. So you have CETH, FETH, and then you have EZET. And the VanEck Ethereum ETF, ETHV. And you also have down here, in their own separate category, BlackRock's ETH-A after the IBIT, which ETH-A is their BlackRock's basically Ethereum ETF. And then below that, you have Bitwise. So ETHW are the ticker symbols. Now let's go ahead and look these up just to make sure they're actually trading. I did check the initial three. I didn't actually notice when I looked at this that there was more than that. So I'm going to scale down to the 1 hour time frame just so we can see that there's some actual price action going on here. As you can see, the clock is ticking. So yes, this is trading. Let's go to the next one, CETH. Yeah, that one's also trading. So unfortunately, crypto is down a little bit today, so it kind of sucks that they got released on a down day. But I mean, it is what it is. If you believe Ethereum and the altcoins and the grayscale trusts are ultimately going higher in the end, then it's just another perfect dip buying opportunity. So EZET. You can see EZET is also trading. Let's take a look at ETHV. So ETHV, that's the VanEck version. That one's trading. So now we'll go to BlackRock's ETHA. And I suspect these are probably all going to trade in sync. Like the price action, I don't know if you've noticed, but it's very similar looking. So personally, that does not surprise me. I mean, it would be expected that they're all trading the same instrument. They should all trade the same, right? So ETHW here, and then the last one, ETHE, which, as you guys know, I'm pretty sure, yep, it looks like it did get delisted here. So I'm actually going to have to... we don't really cover the spot Ether ETFs here, but since this one did get a conversion from the look of it, and again, that's the reason why we have ETCG and not ETHE, is because the risk of a conversion. But as you guys can see, it did get converted, so we will not be able to cover that one any longer. So let's go ahead and get into the content. So the first thing I want to mention about the spot Ethereum ETFs actually trading today is... well, the thing I want to point out is that Bitcoin, when it had its spot Ether ETFs begin trading, we'll go back in history here and take a look at this. I'm actually going to pull up a second chart here. So pull up the IBIT chart because I'm pretty sure all of these spot Ether ETFs did actually start trading, or not Ether, spot Bitcoin ETFs did start trading on the exact same day. So we'll take a look at when that day was. So it looks like it was here on January 11th of 2024. Okay, so that was a while ago, almost 6 months to be exact. But January 11th, 2024, what happened during that week? Well, it's pretty simple. The price of Bitcoin pretty much had been chopping around and it went down slightly. But then after a couple of weeks of trading, guess what happened? We shot off to the moon. So basically, it was a short-term buy the rumor, sell the news event. That's pretty much what we're looking at here. I suspect something very similar is going to happen with ETH or with the ETH ETFs. So maybe you guys might have a couple more weeks to pick up some of these trusts or anything like Ethereum or any of the altcoins at massive discounts right here, as you guys can see, before they end up ripping to the moon. So if history is to repeat, I suspect that's what's going to happen. So probably in a couple weeks from now, we'll see the prices start ripping. We do also still have the Bitcoin conference on Thursday as well. But the other thing I want to point out here is that there's a chance that we might get the start of an altcoin season. If that does happen, because again, if Ethereum takes market share over Bitcoin, or Bitcoin money rolls from Bitcoin into ETH, because now the spot Ether ETFs is the new hot thing, well, likely we could see a dumping of the Bitcoin dominance, and then ETH and anything altcoin related could just fly off the handle straight up to the moon. So that would be very bullish for things like Coney. That would be bullish for any altcoins, especially altcoins that are ERC20 tokens listed on Ethereum, on the Ethereum blockchain. Also, any of these grayscale trusts that are considered to be alt related that are not directly correlated to Bitcoin. So BCHG, LTCN, those are oscillators for Bitcoin. The rest of these down here below are all basically altcoin or Ethereum related projects. These ones could start flying off the handle massively. So now that that's out of the way, let's go ahead and get into the grayscale trusts. So LTCN, we're kind of getting rejected here at this resistance. That's not really shocking. You guys can see it was held down during the bear market before as resistance, and it did prove to be some pretty strong resistance. I mean, just from roughly about this top move to the bottom here, it was a massive 92% drop. As you guys can see, the bears were in full control at that point. So once we get above this zone, I suspect there is going to be a massive breakout to the upside. As of right now, we're pretty much looking at this trend line as the lowest point of support here. So roughly I'd say about $17 to $18. And then you got 24 to 27 at resistance, 54 at the swing highs. So if it does get a little bit more pullback, maybe roughly about 20, 24%, if that does happen. If not, then it possibly could just bounce off of this red EMA or the yellow and blue EMAs and just go up. Anything's possible here. So from the current price to the swing high, you're looking at a 139% move. If we get a pullback here and you want to get out at resistance, that's 52%. If you want to get out all the way up here at the swing high, that's 212%. So BCHG, this one is also getting stopped at resistance. You can see this massive, huge red bar here. That very similar to LTCN, that is what's known as a control bar. You can see the bar is absolutely monstrous. It's 65%. So once again, once we get past this resistance, I suspect we're going to start flying off the rails to the upside. So as of right now, support still sits down here at 680 to 770, resistance 1020 to I'd say about 1270. Then you have $18 to $20 and roughly about $24 all the way at the top there. If it does pull back, which I don't know that it's going to, but it would be about a 41% move. Like I said, if history repeats itself here or something similar, you might have maybe 1, 2, or 3 weeks to get into some of these alt-related projects before the altcoin market starts popping off. We already have our bags pretty heavily loaded, so we're not too worried about it. But, the altcoins are dumping right now, so it's just another dip buying opportunity. Not financial advice, but 106% move here from current price to the swing high. Now, if I measure it, let's say from the pullback area to the first zone, 78%, second zone, 177%, and then third zone all the way up here at 238%. HZEN, so we did actually get a move out of the falling wedge here. As you guys can see, this is obviously not perfect. I need to redo this. I don't know why it keeps doing that. Okay, so never mind. Maybe we didn't get a breakout. I don't know why it does this. Just keeps randomly moving stuff on my charts. That's weird. Okay, well, whatever the case. So basically move this pretty much from what it was to now being at a channel. So yeah, anyways, so we have some kind of W pattern here. As you guys can see, it that's basically what a W pattern is. It looks like a W, and it's a very bullish pattern. But since we're still inside of these lines, support is going to be the target here. So, or the buying zone. So 380 to 420. We're looking for a move up to 690 to roughly about 810, and then the high up there at 10.5. So the pullback here is juicy 27%. And then to get that move up, you're looking at roughly about 105% all the way up to 164%. Let me actually, I don't know how I check this. I can't remember how I'm supposed to check this. I almost wonder if I don't have this on logarithmic again. Yes, I do. I don't know why that is, how that keeps happening. So sorry about that. So ETCG, basically in between these lines or this channel, that's pretty much support as of right now. So 11 to 13. Below that, 870, I'd say 880 to about $10. And then above head, you're looking at roughly $16 and 1770 to 20. I do suspect ETCG is going to fly off the handles to the moon when the price of Ethereum moonshots, which it probably is going to in the next month. I wouldn't be surprised. So 38% and then 75% respectively here. There's not really enough price action on ETH to actually give you guys any analysis on this. Again, these just started trading today. What I can do is tell you on Ethereum, just give you guys a quick scoop on that. Let me just go ahead and zoom out here, and we'll do a fib retracement, assuming that this double bottom down here is actually the bottom. The next target for Ethereum could be all the way up here at the highs. As you guys can see, it's the previous all-time high. Okay, it's funny how these fibs always line up with previous structure levels, but pretty much about 4,900. And then above and beyond that, which I'm pretty sure we're going past previous all-time highs now that these ETFs are trading, you're looking at about 6,000, 6,100 on Ethereum. So a massive increase from the current price, almost, not quite, but almost a 2x. So PhilG, this one is kind of really acting weird. So it was down and now it had some kind of gap up. So I'm not sure what happened. The only thing I can say about all these different, basically things like HZEN and all of these ones down here from PhilG down, is that they have extremely tiny market caps. Okay. If the market cap is extremely small, like 5 or 10 million, especially in native crypto, it's much, much easier for the price to pump than it is for something like LTCN or BCHG, which has 100 million market cap, or even Ethereum or Bitcoin that's, you're talking $500 billion or $1 trillion. When you have little tiny market caps like this, it's much easier for the price to move. So this is a bearish candle. Again, it did have a gap up, but it doesn't mean anything necessarily. If we close below these EMAs, it is still bearish. So in my mind, I'm still looking at roughly about 37 to 40 as support. And then the swing high all the way up here at $400, just to show you guys the risk here. If it does pull back that far, about a 60% move. And don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that this is, it's not as if I want the price of PhilG to go down to 37 to 40. I mean, it'd be nice, but I don't have any expectations here. We're very bullish on Filecoin. Okay, we have nearly $4,000 in Filecoin itself. So that should tell you something. So it wouldn't really make a lot of sense for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, I hope the price goes down. So, our bags can just get dumped on. That's kind of stupid, right? So 890% move here on PhilG. I'm just telling you guys what the charts are saying. I try to remove my emotions from it and just show you guys what the technical analysis shows. So GBAT, this thing is within support. So $7.80 to $10. And then the swing high up here is at 32. Again, we're hitting the apex of the move. So if the spot E3 ETFs do lead to a massively bullish alt season, likely this thing is going to break the apex of the move to the upside. I suspect that's probably what's going to happen. I mean, if I really am just being really perfect about this, I mean, this thing could hit its apex by about August 5th. So a couple weeks from now, which pretty much is on point with the theory that in a couple of weeks, the Ethereum price and altcoins will probably moonshot, kind of similar to the spot Bitcoin ETFs. So let's do the measured move here. From the current price to the swing high, 246% move. Again, this is in the buy zone. Previous resistance turned support. You guys can do what you want with that. Okay, so GLIV, I'm actually going to remove this since it's lower than the previous all-time high. But so it looks like we got a push above. Now we're back down below. So as of right now, 12 to 15 is the support. If the weekly candle closes above this trend line, then it changes. We'll talk about that when the time comes. And the previous all-time high is $80. So from here all the way down to the bottom of support, roughly about a 56% drop. You guys are, of course, free to buy wherever you want to. I'd be waiting for it to get into the zone to get back in or close to it. From that point all the way up to the swing high, or all-time high in this case, 536% move. G-Link, very similar to GBAT. This thing is getting ready to hit the apex of its move. So support here, $65 to $85, and then $220 at the swing high. And once again, you know, when Ethereum moonshots, there's a likelihood at some point that money is going to roll out of Ethereum into the smaller caps, or large caps, mid caps, and small caps. That's usually how it works. So don't be surprised if G-Link and GBAT and these other smaller altcoin related projects that are ERC20 tokens, or even if they're not, they're basically not Ethereum or Bitcoin, if they start moonshotting out of nowhere in a couple of weeks. So from the current price to the all-time high, 155% move, and then let's just say you get your price somewhere in the middle of the zone, then it becomes 196%. GZOL, so this thing still looks very bullish. I've heard there are rumors of basically a Solana spot ETF. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out. But me personally, there's so much more opportunity elsewhere in the grayscale sector that I would not touch this with a 10-foot pole. I'd rather buy anything else than this because of how much the risk is to the downside. I mean, it's absolutely huge. And trust me when I tell you, in crypto, this kind of thing is possible, okay? It can do something like that. It can't just drop 70% out of nowhere. Anything can happen in these markets. I'm not trying to spook anybody. I'm just being honest with y'all. The bear markets are absolutely brutal. They're heinous. Nobody wants to experience one, but unfortunately, that's been the reality in crypto for the last decades. So 15% from the current price to the all-time high up there. If you manage to, let's just say, get your shares at 180, roughly about the middle of the zone, then becomes 220%. And I'll give you guys the Fibonacci here as a bonus, because if it does break the highs, you're going to want to know where the next level is above heads. So you're looking at roughly about 830. And then I'll give you guys another one. So roughly about 1230, 1240, somewhere in there, right above that level. GXLM, so this is still below this line. So I'm going to say that 25 still is going to be support. And then you're looking at resistance 53 to about 58. And then you have 69 all the way up there at the highs. So from the current price to the top of resistance, 95%, and then 130%. If it goes back down to this line, which I suspect it will, 135% all the way up to 178% move. Mana, so this one's still kind of chilling on support. It's a good time to buy, in my opinion, not financial advice, but 1760 to 20 and a quarter is your support. And then $70 is going to be the swing high. So from current price all the way to the top, you're looking at 261%. Zcash, got a breakout, getting a retest of the EMAs and support. That's usually how it goes. So roughly about 440 to 510 on the support, and then you're looking at $8 to roughly about 960 on the resistance, and the swing high up here at 10 and a quarter. So from this move, I should say from the current price to the top of the next resistance zones, 91%, and then all the way up to 103%. So anyways, let me know what you guys think is going to happen in the next couple of weeks with the spot ETFs. I suspect likely we're going to get a massive alt season. Ethereum's going to go to all-time highs. Don't know how high that's going to be. And then alts are going to pop off with it. And then they'll go even higher when money rolls out from Bitcoin and ETH into alts. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not God. I can't predict anything and everything in the future. So give me your opinion. Let me know down below what you guys think. Okay. And I have not forgotten about the, I forget what the other grayscale trust is. The index fund version one. I think it's DEFG or something like that. I haven't forgotten about your guys' comments. I will get to it. I promise. Probably tomorrow. I've just been super jam-packed with stuff. Been busy all day. Haven't had a chance to really look at them. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all later. Peace.